We are not makers of history, Martin Luther King Jr. said once. We are made by history. History can be full of bitter and harrowing events. It forges the importance of life and produces change. The book, A Mighty Long Way, by Carlotta Walls Lanier, tells the story of Carlotta and the Little Rock Nine. They were colored students who confronted challenges when they integrated to the all-white school's Central High. They were bullied and segregated against just because of their skin color. I want to share their story and attempt to induce you to realize and discover a buried and forgotten past of life that was once somebody else's presence. To know and realize that all human beings have liberty and are equal, even through the worst anguishing moments in time, that we all must continue to fight for our futures and our lives, that we have to push through hardships and protect not only ourselves and what we believe in, but also our mortality. This is our history. Carlotta's history, even as she describes the sheer size of the crowd, is shocking. There must have been hundreds of white people, mothers with faces contorted in anger, white fathers pumping their fists in the air and shouting, white teenagers and children waving Confederate flags and mimicking their parents. This shows how being an African American was never easy. Just like 15-year-old Elizabeth Eckford, who was walking to Central High School when a crowd of angry American segregationists began to yell and threaten her in the background. Hazel Bryan, the woman with the rage contorted face in the background, screaming at Elizabeth, telling her to go home, nigger, go home back to Africa. The mob decides to concede with Elizabeth and also grade against Eckford. It's blatant, and white Americans didn't think much of black Americans, how they were so different that they didn't even deserve to be in public or have freedom of activity. We are the royal nation of the jeopardized, threatened by the grips of judgment and taking extreme precautions, such as the ones that Carlotta, as she describes. Each of us were assigned a military escort to accompany us throughout the day. The troopers usually waited outside the classroom door until it was time to move to the next class. In the picture above, the Little Rock Nine are escorted by federal troops of the military in order to keep the raging and violent mobs at bay, to protect the Little Rock Nine integrators as they quickly walk across the campus to the school. This demonstrates just how far segregators will go in order to keep what they think is balanced and perfect in what these black students have to go through just to get through a school day unharmed. History can be insufferable and brutal to the point where even the innocent become culpable. When Carlotta describes the barbaric and inhumane attack of Emmett Till and how he was brutally murdered just for whistling at a white woman, or the photo of L. Alex Wilson being brutally attacked by a white man, the segregation crowd surrounding them, enjoying and encouraging the abuse. Yet, so few people really know how to express the importance of the years that have been molded and the wars that have been forward. The song Get Up, Stand Up by Bob Marley sets the tone of not only what the Little Rock Nine have gone through, but all states with Jim Crow laws and segregation. The lyrics, get up for your rights. Get up, stand up for your rights. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It is not all that glitters is gold. Half the story has never been told. So now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. The high end reflects the souls of those who have fallen to the tyranny of the world has cloaked over them. The ones who continue to believe and hope. I couldn't remember the last time I had felt so free. We danced all night long to R&B and rock and roll. Sounds that over the years have added soul to our suffering. Carlotta Walls Lanier was only one of thousands, millions who had experienced what past can do and what it did do. The past. Your past, my past, our past. History. Each day the world advances. It wears the scars of mistreatment, war, pounded ground of which slaves and colored people in general have fought for their freedom and equality. That every violent action, vile word, injustice law was worth fighting against in order to achieve the right to be a human being. Life is full of prejudice and hate, but is up for the new generation and mature generations to take a stand, to speak as one voice, and continue to change what was left behind and broken in the world. It is for you not to sit there and bite your tongue, but march into any madness and fight for what you believe in.